All right, we are once again live. Now, tonight is supposed to be the group chat, and I don't know how many people I can invite. I'll try to get everybody in here if everybody wants to participate. If not, we'll just do a regular chat. But if you want to be on the panel, let me know. Send me an email, shootingleftofcenter@gmail.com. Just say, ask for a chat link. We've been working on my son's mufflers and refinishing the fuel door on his car. So I am tired. It always had a clank, and it was because one of the muffler brackets was the bar was a little too close to the bracket. So they were clicking together because you know how they hang and then there's supposed to be space kind of in the middle. So I had to go in and bend it. And then I put a piece of rubber tube on it just to make sure it won't rattle down. But feel free to get your questions and comments in. Also, feel free to get entries into the Hollow Sun drawing. We didn't get any entries into it today. We were going strong there for a couple of days, and then since yesterday, nothing. Not a single one, actually. I'm pretty sure not a single one. Let me look and see before I say something that ain't true, but I'm pretty sure. See, because we ain't had any sales, any donations. Yeah, no, nothing today. Not a thing today. But like I said, if you want to be on the panel, send me an email. We'll see if it works. If not, we'll do a regular chat. If you got questions or comments, get them in. There's only 15 people here, so we might not get many people tonight. It's Sunday. We don't do well on Sundays. We don't get a lot of people, especially not on our backup channel. Orders. We should have enough chats tonight to do a knife drawing. I think we only need one or two. So we'll be doing another knife drawing on. I did see your email, Eric Harris Schnauzer, but if we do the group chat tonight, I don't do emails or the live chat. We just do super chats because that's all I can pay attention to while monitoring the behavior of the hooligans that are in the chat. But I'll send it again tomorrow and I'll save it for tomorrow. No, I have not bothered to find a different distributor to do the Pikachu shirts. I haven't bothered because it's like 3 or 4 people want one. And that ain't worth the effort. Unless, of course, they really want one. And then maybe one night during a live chat, I'd see what we could do. See what we could do. But get your questions, comments in. We'll get started as soon as possible. Get your entries into the ammo can drawing by doing super chats. Get your entries into the Hollow Sun giveaway by buying merchandise or just making a donation through the website. You can do all of it from my website, tympistolproject.com. There's a link over there that says super chat and giveaways links over in the live chat. You can click on that since you can't do super chats on this channel. They don't let me. Hopefully we'll get enough people to come in the chat to do the group chat, and hopefully we'll get enough questions to actually start the chat. We will see. Like I said, as of today, we got nothing so far. Not a single entry into anything, not a single email question, nothing. And we're not doing email questions tonight, but you know what I mean. Get your questions and your comments in. Your questions and your comments in. Lolly, lolly, get your adverbs here. Oh, that led into that. Damn it. One of my medications just went up. I swear. And it didn't go up a little. It went up from $199 to $349. It's my blood pressure medication. And the one I like to take, they don't cover with my insurance. I have to take the other one. I don't like the other one. So I like that one. I'm going to have to go back taking the one I don't like because I can't afford the good one anymore. And it's relatively new, so they don't cover it under my insurance. Just like with, I need a implant. I need 2 implants here and here. And my insurance doesn't do implants. They want to take out other teeth and put bridges in or put a partial in. And I'm like, I don't want a partial or a bridge. I want an implant. So if I want them, I have to go pay for them. And they're like $3,000 each. I can't afford that. Gary Boss asked a question. Need a booster. What? He asked a question. I don't know what it was. He didn't get an entry. It's a $2 question, but I don't know what he means. I'll address it during the chat. Maybe someone else will know what it means. I don't know what it means. The package that I paid $12 extra to get by Saturday. When I originally ordered it, it said if you could get it free shipping if you wanted it Monday through Wednesday, but if you wanted it by Friday or Saturday, you had to pay $12. I paid the $12 because I'm impatient and we wanted it for my son's car. Then it got delayed. They told me it'd be here Monday, and I'm like, well, I could have gotten it I got kicked out of the Starlink network. But as I was saying, I paid to get it on Friday or Saturday. If I hadn't paid, I'd have gotten it Monday through Wednesday. They send me a thing saying it's been delayed till Monday. And I'm like, well, I could have gotten it by Monday for free. And now I got a thing saying, oh, it's delayed in shipping. If you haven't received it by the 28th, come back here for a refund. I'm like, good Lord. It's gotten to where that used to be rare. And lately it's like out of every 3 or 4 things I order, at least one thing does that. Did he ask another question? Yeah, did he explain himself? I don't know what that fucking is. Hopefully we'll get some people coming into the chat. But no. So far, I've only got one person wants to come in. Let me add these people to the ammo can giveaway. We got one entry. One entry. Get your questions and comments in. If you want to be in the chat, send me an email asking for a link. I don't know if we'll get enough people, but we'll see. Hopefully I don't get kicked out of the system any more times tonight. Hopefully once was it. We'll see. Oh, why'd I pour my soda? Supposed to wait. Supposed to wait. If you got questions or comments, if you want to make them for the panel, make them for the panel. If we do the chat, we'll get those questions to everybody. If you want to just ask me questions, I guess you can, because we're going to be, if we just do a regular chat. Got a couple people now want to come in. And I still don't know if I can get that many people in here, because sometimes I think it maybe limits me to 1 or 2 people. We'll see. If not, maybe it's 5. I don't know. Get your questions and comments in. We'll try to get started as soon as possible. Soon as possible. To use the French term. Do 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 do. Dee, 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 dee. Boop, ba-doop, 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 boop, boop, ba-doop, ba-doo, doo, 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 doo. But get your questions, comments in. Send them over via, well, the only really super chat you can do tonight is the YouTube super chat. So use that link there. It says super chat giveaway links. If you want to ask a question, you can also go over there and get entries into the Hollow Sun giveaway. You can get entries into the grip drawing. I still didn't put the pictures up today for the holsters, and I still got more holsters to put out. I still didn't figure out what this one is too. Let me see if I can figure out what this one is too while I'm sitting here. I think this might be for a SIG P226. I think one's for a 1911. These two. I think maybe this one's for a 1911, the gloss black, and the matte black is for a SIG P226. I've never worn either one of them. They've just been sitting in a holster. These are for, that's I'm pretty sure for a Beretta. That's a Galco that hasn't even been worn. I'm not sure what this one is. It looks like a SIG as well. What this one is. I'm not even sure who makes this one. This might be for the SIG MK11. I think that might be what that is. A nice holster. I think it's a custom. I haven't sent anybody links yet because I'm waiting to see if we get enough people. Moto says. Because I have a Pikachu FU shirt in my cart, since it's still for sale on the website, should I remove it from my cart before ordering, or should I keep it if there's a possibility they could accidentally let it slip through the cracks? They actually have let them slip through once or twice, but they don't usually. I mean, it's up to you. You order it, you're taking a shot, and then later we can always transfer it to something else if they don't make it. But if you want to feel like rolling the dice, you can. I shouldn't get in any trouble because they already got me in trouble for it. Get your questions and comments in, and remember, if we do the live chat with the group tonight, we won't be paying attention to the live chat or emails. The super chats only will be the source of driving, because that's the only thing I can actually pay attention to while still monitoring what's going on in my chat. So save your questions and comments that you would put it normally in the live chat or send via email, your pictures and stuff. Save them for tomorrow. We'll need them. If anybody else wants to be on the live chat, let me know. We'll give it another 5 minutes and see what happens. I'm waiting to see if we get one more person wanting to be in the live chat. Do we even have any questions to get started? Maybe one or two. not enough to really get started. So we might not even get enough questions. So we'll see what happens. We're moving slow tonight. Nobody's asking questions or nothing. We got 60 people here. We should have a few questions being asked, but not really. I just went over and checked. I still have, it says 86 days left on my suspension. That can't be right. It should be 80, like 84 or 85 maybe. Well, Uncle Rickles, you wouldn't even get that question answered because we don't pay attention to the live chat or emails when we're doing the group chat. We'll give it 2 more minutes to see if we get enough people to do the group chat. And then after that, I'll give it 5 more minutes till 6:10 to see if we get enough people to do a chat at all. Because we don't really have questions coming in. We got like 1 question. Usually someone waits till the last minute and asks something, but tonight that doesn't. It isn't a guarantee. We'll see. There haven't been any grip drawings lately because nobody's entered into the grip drawing. The one we started on the 12th, the new list we started on the 12th, only has 4 people on it. So that's all we've had get entries into the grip drawing. We should have enough tonight to do a knife drawing if we actually do the chat. But the grip drawing, we're 6 entrants away, and I don't think we're getting those tonight. We didn't even get any entrants into the Hollow Sun giveaway. People have been buying merch and trying to help out the channel. I guess the goodwill only lasted 4 days. People felt sorry for me for getting my chat suspended. That lasted about 4 days. I haven't got anything since yesterday. Ouch. Bit my tongue. That's not good. That's not good. Yes, that shiny one is for a 1911, and the matte one is for a Sig Sauer. Where does it go? Sig Sauer, or it might be for a 320. Because I bought a P320 optics rated. Is that what that is? Yes, I think that's for a P320 with an optic. That's what it's for. This is for a P320 with an optic. Yes, that's what this one's for. It's for a Sig. It's for a Sig P320 with a red dot. Well, it's cut down like that. So that's what that one is. And then this one, I think, is for also a P226. Got a lot of Sig holsters. And some 1911s and some Berettas. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this one's a Beretta. Yes, 92 FS. So that one's brand new Galco in the brown. 92 FS. I even got the tag off of it. Where's Ricky Rivas? Well, that's Welper that's kind of quiet most of the time. And he's one of the ones that wants to come in. So he barely counts. But we haven't gotten any more questions since I said we didn't have any questions. So nothing of any merit. We'll get started in a minute and we'll just see how long we can go. When people, the only time people really talk over each other, it's generally because of David Ford, because he's got a delay. I don't know why he's got a delay, but he's got a delay because he never knows when other people are talking. He steps on people all the time because he's got a delay. He thinks it's silent, but it's actually somebody's already started talking. I don't know what it is. It's either his computer or his service or something, but he's got a delay. That's not a question. That was, does Rune Thor have something to do? To win the holsters, you have to either win a grip or you can also, if you win a knife, maybe. I should make it just for the grips, but what do y'all think? Grips or just a knife? If you win the knife or if you win grips too? What do y'all think? Let me do a little poll. We got a minute or two. So let's do a little poll. Should just grip winners get to choose a holster, or should knife winners, or also nice, or should knife winners do? Just grip winners, knife winners do. All right, there we go. Let's start the poll, see how where that goes. Then we'll get started. Could Rune King Thor defeat the Phoenix? No. All right, let's see how the poll is doing. Oh yeah, y'all, the knife winners too. Of course, y'all want to give it to everybody. You're not paid. You don't have to. It's not costing you guys nothing. All right. For now, we'll do knife winners too. But I might change that at some given time because holsters ain't cheap. So right now, if you get entered to win, if you do a super chat, you'll get entered to win one of the holsters too. If you win the knife, you can get a holster. It might go to where you eventually have to get an entry into the grip drawing and then win to get a holster. But for now, we will do knife winners also. So anybody just does a super chat will get entered into the holster drawing. And let me send out the links real quick and then we'll get started. Is that the right link? Yes. Okay. We didn't get another person, so we'll see how we do. There we go. Respond. respond. There is. Where is? There he is. Now let's see if this works. See if it lets everybody in. I'll wait here to see if anybody can get in. Boom, 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 boom. In poll, knife winners 2-1, of course. So for now, knife winners will be entered to win a holster. But it might change. If you want a chance to win one of the holsters, you better get in. Can anyone else get in, or is it just Scorch? Does it just let me with one person, or does it anybody else trying and failing? No, someone else got in, so it must let me have in more than one person. Let's see. There's one more to come. Let's see if they make it. Ryan McFarland. He got entries into the ammo can and the knife drawing. John Mandrick's here. Why hasn't he asked for a link to the chat? Lazy son of a bitch. I'm getting these caught up real quick. Okay, here we go. Why did Ryan McFarland ask another question? What is wrong with him? All right. Johnny Mandrick, are you out there? Are you coming in? Or are you going to be lazy? There ain't no one else wants to be in the chat, so I'm going to send him a link, whether he likes it or not. Hold on. John Mandrick. Chat link. If I've still got it saved, I'll send it to him. Yes, I do. There. Okay, I sent the link. Ryan McFarland got an entry into the grip drawing. Where'd that go? I just wrote on it. I just looked at it a minute ago. There it is. Ryan McFarland. Oh, he already had entries. Now he got more entries. Now he had 3, so now he's got more. He's going on a spending spree. Him and all right, Johnny Mandrick's coming. Once he's here, we'll all get started. Or let me get everybody in the chat. All right, we're gonna get started. Remember, everybody, if you got questions for the panel, get them into me via the super chat link over there. It's put in the live chat. That'll take you to my website. You'll see right at the top where you can do a super chat. And for now, since we can't do super chats on YouTube, you also get entered into the knife drawing by doing that. And as of right now, you'll get entered into the holster giveaway. But that might change. All right, let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the No FUD Zone Roundtable. Who's breathing heavy? No FUD Zone Roundtable, but that screwed me up with your heavy breathing. Now I got to start all over again. Who's puffing in their microphone? Who wears them? Does somebody use one of those, like you're an old-timey operator headsets or something? Let's start again. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the No FUD Zone podcast. This is the first one we're trying to do on my backup channel since we are banned from my primary channel right now. It is suspended, pending being dissolved, I guess. Hopefully we'll get it back on the air. We've got 86 more days left of our suspension, according to them. But hopefully we'll get one of those strikes removed. But for now, here we are over here, and we're going to do everything just like we normally would. We're joined again tonight by Welper, David Ford, Johnny Mandrick, and Scorch. So everybody say hello.
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 And I'm just going to go over and start. We didn't have any merchandise ordered today. The last one, I don't know if I read them all yesterday. I don't know if I did or not. But yesterday we got an order from, that's not what I wanted to do. Jeff Patterson at the end of the chat yesterday. And I don't know if I read it or not. I read the Michael Harmon and I read the Steve Sharp, but I don't know if I read the Jeff Patterson one. But with that being said, let's get on to the questions. But thanks to them for ordering merch. This is just Ryan McFarland getting an entry into the Hollow Sun giveaway. And I think he might already have entry into. Yes, he does. So now he's got more. Okay, there we go. Now let's find a question. This is from Johnny Mandrick, who's in here. How often do you practice with your long guns, and which ones do you practice with more? Who in here practices with long guns?
Yeah, not really.
No, I don't practice with long guns. I mean, they don't really need practice. I mean, what are you going to practice doing? I mean, as long as you know how to shoot and can hit your target, I'm not going to forget how. So, does anybody practice with long guns? I don't.
No. I'm in an urban area, so
no, I haven't been able to.
Go ahead, David.
I haven't been able to for years because I mainly go to indoor ranges.
I mean, my indoor range has a 25 yard, I think, indoor range for rifles. I just don't really use it all that much. What's the point at 25 yards?
I mean, yeah, because, once you grow up shooting bolt actions and stuff like that, and you grow up hunting, I mean, do you really need to practice to keep your skills? I'm not sure those skills really. It's the more dangerous behavior of carrying a handgun that requires more practice, like knowing when to properly draw and how to properly reholster and to draw quickly and to fire, in self-defense. Because most of the things I'd be using a rifle for are offensive, like hunting and things like that. So I don't really practice those things. And as far as even if you were like taking sniper position, that's not a fast-paced thing. That's a target-based thing. So I don't really practice with long guns at all.
So you don't, I'll take them out once a month just to make sure they're still on zero and they're working right. And
yeah, but that's not
go
practice.
Through the motion. Maybe my wording went wrong then.
I just shoot them every now and then, but not very often. And I would have to say what I shoot more than anything is probably my lever actions in like 44 Magnum and 357 Magnum. But it's like my M1A, I'll try to shoot it once a year. My M1As. My AKs, I'll try to shoot them once a year, but I don't shoot them a lot. I'm more of a shooting handguns. I just enjoy it more. Let's move on here. Ryan McFarland says, since you don't like long guns for home defense, what is this long gun stuff? Would a pistol with a suppressor be too long, or would it be a good option? I have bad hearing. Pistols with suppressors are fine. I mean, as long as you can handle them with one hand and it's not too long that you can't, because you don't want to have your gun sticking out farther than your hand when you're opening the door or something like that. You don't want to give them a target to grab. You want to be able to keep it back and shoot it with one hand. So, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with suppressor on a gun.
Yeah, you definitely want to practice with the suppressor if you intend to have it on there in defense situations.
And you also want to know how reliable is your gun with the suppressor on there, because a lot of guns aren't all that reliable with suppressors on them. And it doesn't take much of anything to make them malfunction when the suppressor's on there. Just bumping it against something or it lightly touching something can make them malfunction.
And can it change the shot placement too?
I wouldn't say at close range it's going to make much of a difference, but I don't know. I'm not an expert on suppressors, but at close range, I couldn't see that being a big problem.
Worth making sure.
What?
So it's worth making sure.
Oh yeah, making sure you can still shoot straight with it and everything. Yeah, well, of course. Per Gustafson.
You better test your the ammunition you're going to actually use for self-defense on the range of that suppressor as well.
Well, yeah, and you don't want to go. A lot of people want to go when they're shooting their suppressor. Their goal is to go as quiet as they can, so they get this low-powered subsonic ammo. And I'm like, I wouldn't take that risk when it came to self-defense. I would be shooting what I thought was going to actually cycle the gun, because when you get to the lower-powered subsonic ammo, it becomes more susceptible to failure because of the extra weight of especially if it's a tilting barrel. I mean, if it's a tilting barrel gun, yeah, you don't want to go too light on your ammo. So you are saying you don't practice running and rolling on the ground with your AR-15? If I get on the ground, I ain't getting back up generally. So that's a good idea. I got on the ground today.
Yeah, I remember those good old days.
I got on the ground today working on my son's mufflers, and I got done, and I'm like, I'm just going to lay here for a minute or two before I got up, because I was tired, and I'm like, I don't want to get up right now.
Yeah. Well, before you know it, he'll be doing his own auto repairs, right?
Well, he does. He can do his own, but he wasn't strong enough to get the hanger out of the bracket.
Oh.
He was trying, and it was hard. I mean, I went under there, and I've got exceptionally strong hands. You know, since I was young, I've been an illustrator, a sculptor, woodworker. So I've got very strong forearms and hands. All of my son's friends who are like, football team kids and tough guys and stuff, I would like, let's play Mercy, and I would destroy them.
Oh boy.
So sometimes he'll have to come and get me, like, move this. I can't get it to move, because he's smaller. He's getting stronger though.
Yeah, so you beat football players in the game of Mercy like Harley Race used to do?
Oh yeah, it's fun. I used to love play Mercy because I got really strong hands and forearms. At least, especially I did when I was younger. So I'd be like, "Oh, you think you're tough?" Crunch. In fact, I broke the hand of one of my friends in when I was in college.
That sounds like tendon strength. Yeah.
But he wouldn't give up. He kept fighting. I was like, "You got to say uncle," and he wouldn't say it, so he ended up breaking his hand. Let's see here. Ricky,
anyway, if you're gonna do that infantry, I'm sorry. If you're gonna do that infantry stuff of I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. When you go down, you use the butt of the rifle to break your fall, and then you roll with it. I remember practicing fire team assaults in the Marine Corps. A couple of times we did it live fire, where quite literally we were engaging pop-up targets and engaging as a fire team and covering each other's advance. It's something that's kind of dangerous for civilians, but we did it in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, there's
Fire
no
team
reason
assault
for a
live
civilian
fire.
to do that.
Yeah, it's not much, because we're not going to be out there fighting as part of a squad. So that's like a lot of people think, when they talk about using a shotgun for home defense, they'll be like, well, I watch these videos of the military and they use a shotgun. I'm like, yeah, the fifth guy in the back has a shotgun. Mm-hmm. The guys in front do not. Yeah. And you're not going to be doing it with four other guys. No. So people seem to forget that.
Well, grenade thinks so.
The only thing I'm going to break, trying to use the butt to break my fall, is I'm going to break my hip. So I'd rather not do that.
Yeah, and as far as home defense, you don't want to discharge a shotgun indoors. It's so incredibly loud.
Yeah, an AR. An AR indoor is incredibly loud.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's where having a suppressor, even for your handgun, for home defense is a smart move.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will say things like, should I keep hearing protection next to my bed in case I got to get up and use my gun? No, because you're taking away one of your most important senses in the dark, and that's your hearing. So you don't want to take that away. And those earphones that still let you hear, they take away your directional hearing. You can't really tell where it's coming from.
An interesting fact, humans as a species, we have very poor directional hearing capabilities compared to other animals.
Oh yeah, we can't move our ears.
Yeah.
You know, cats can, and dogs even, cats especially, can rotate their ears like little satellites.
And especially prey animals. Yeah.
You're telling me you're from West Virginia and you can't wiggle your ears?
No, I can't wiggle my ears. I never have been able to. My uncle used to all the time.
I keep a loaded Colt AR-15A3 similar to what I had in the Marine Corps in my room, ready to go, along with handgun. And I'm just not worried about it because I've fired plenty of like live fire in the Marine Corps, with the M4.
Mm-hmm.
So the damage is already done.
That's why I have to hold my phone to my. That's why I've held my phone to my left ear, or I ain't gonna be able to hear it.
Yeah.
But you're not the only one in the house either.
Yeah. I also recommend not pissing off any street gangs, so you're not forced into that situation.
I try not to.
Stay away from funerals in Utah too. Stay away from those Utah funerals.
Oh boy.
Do I need a suppressor booster, a Nielsen device, on a 92 FS to make it function? I don't even know what a Nielsen device is. But is that one of those things that you're supposed to use on tilt-up barrels to make the suppressor not make a malfunction? Because I don't know that they work. And a Beretta 92 FS is not a tilt-up barrel. It's a different type of barrel. It's a short slide locking or something like that barrel. So you definitely wouldn't need it on a Beretta. But I don't even know if those things really work on semi-autos, much less put them on something like a Beretta. Anybody else got any with them or anything?
Yeah, it says the Nielsen device temporarily decouples the heavy weight of the suppressor from the barrel when fired, allowing the gun's tilting action to cycle and prevent jams.
How does it do that? How does it do that without it falling off?
It's basically an adapter with a spring in it so that the suppressor can stay in place, like in space, while the barrel and slide start to retract.
Yeah, I don't know if that would actually work. I'd have to see.
I'm pretty sure you need that for striker fired pistols. Like Luigi didn't have one on his 3D printed pistol, and you saw in the footage he was having to cycle it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a Beretta is not even a tilting barrel. So
the Nielsen device seems like it was invented for people who don't have faith in their semi-auto.
Yeah, or they use too weak an ammo, I guess. Because that's the problem. That's when you really run into problem with suppressors if you're using weaker ammo. Because, like I said, when people use a suppressor, they want something lighter loaded, subsonic, so that it's really quiet. And that's great for being really quiet, but it's not great for being reliable.
Yeah, I would just carry a backup pistol if I were that concerned about my primary EDC failing me.
Here. Is that it? Or did we answer that question? So, yeah, I'm going to say no. I don't think you need one on a Beretta. Also, Ricky Rivas said, thoughts on having to have a membership to exercise your rights, GOA membership for NFA injunction. That's one of the things that's wrong with these big organizations. They love to do stuff like this because when they do these things like, okay, now you can buy a suppressor if you do this. Well, there was two goals for that whole thing they did. One was to drum up business for Silencer Co. and the other companies that are big sponsors of theirs, give them a lot of money. So they're serving their interests, not our interests. And two, it drives up their membership, makes them money. Instead of just winning victories for everybody, they go search for these judges to give them injunctions so that they can get people to join their group. And then once they have people joining, well, what reason do they have to get that right for everybody? They don't want it to be for everybody. They want it to be just for their little group. That way people keep having to pay them. Mm-hmm. So, and then of course, once you're in, they can use the, if you cancel your membership, we don't know if you're not covered anymore. So, they want to make it like that. And that is one of the things that is the most wrong with the pro-gun groups. They do things for profit, not progress.
Yeah, and they also try to gaslight a lot of people, saying, "Well, if you don't fund us, the whole country is going to lose its gun rights," and that's just not true.
Yeah. Not true at all. We still can fight lawsuits, and now we are so banded together that anytime anyone's rights are abused, we can get together and help fund a legal defense.
Yeah,
and spend way less money, because every time there's a $200,000 legal expense to actually win back a right, the gun groups will take in $2 to $5 million to pay that $200,000 and then put the rest in their pockets.
Yeah. I'll tell you something. Here in Florida, in our gubernatorial election, this guy David Jolly supports 5 different new gun restrictions, and it took us so many years to get open carry and concealed carry freedoms without a permit. I think he could lose the election on those grounds alone.
Let's see, where are we at?
Well, the upside is raking in that cash is a great incentive to sue various, state governments and the federal government over guns. That's the upside to it.
Well, it's a good incentive to try to get injunctions that don't actually change the law. So that doesn't do any good for everybody.
They don't want rulings, because then the money stops.
Yeah, the money stops coming because people start saying, "Hey, why do we need to pay these people to guard the fort when the enemy's all dead?" And does a bear shit in the woods? Well, I would assume so.
Oh yeah, if it happens to be in the woods at the time it takes a shit.
Yeah, I mean, where else would it shit?
In a clearing somewhere.
Jason Thompson said, that's Officer Taterhager, said, "I sent you lots of emails. I know, I got through a couple of them. A few were military stuff. Did you hear Sean Grayson died from butt cancer earlier today?" I did not hear that. They should have left him in the gin pot. Yeah. I did not see that one. Let me see if I can see that one. He died in prison, Sean Grayson. He was a deputy that killed that, what's her name, Sonia Massey?
Yeah, in Kentucky.
Yeah. He got convicted and gone to jail. I guess he died in jail.
Maybe he got butt cancer from taking some hard sausage.
Maybe. I don't know what. It doesn't say what he died from here, but I guess he
said anal cancer, didn't it?
Does it say anal cancer? Yes, colon cancer.
Okay. Yeah.
He was battling stage 4 colon cancer. That's why they were probably okay with conviction. They knew he wasn't going to live long. So they made an example out of it. Let's see. Has that got us all caught up on the questions? I think that might be it for today on the questions. I do want to show this one email. We're not really doing emails today, but I did want to show this one. Hold on 1 second. Someone sent me this yesterday, and I never got to it. And they said, "Would you wear these?" And it's Batman Crocs. I would definitely wear those Batman Crocs. If you want to buy them and send them to me, I wear a size.
Looks awesome. It looks like the Batmobile from the 89 movie.
Mm-hmm. So I would definitely wear them.
Is it lightweight?
I don't know. I actually have some of the little Croc buttons that I bought in, where were we at? I think we were in Vancouver, BC, and for some reason my son saw them and wanted them, so I got him a bunch of the little Croc buttons that stick on your Crocs.
Yeah, I bought some from my nieces. Yeah,
they were like Batman and Spider-Man and all this stuff.
Yeah, little kids like those for some reason. Sometimes even older kids. I don't know the fascination myself, but.
And he did like the shoes that light up, so I don't know if those ones would light up. But when he was little, he loved the light up shoes. Of course, nowadays, the one thing they never had though, and I don't understand why, because I would have wanted these when I was a kid, but neither of my kids ever asked for these Heelys. I would have thought they would want them, but I tried to get Caden Heelys one time. He didn't want them. And I'm like, why? What kid would not want Heelys?
Oh, those things were dangerous.
They were fun. I loved roller skating, so I would like Heelys. Ask the panel what effect any AI is going to have on the gun community. This is from Andrew Avila.
NEI.
Yeah, AI. What effect is AI going to have on the gun community?
Well, it could be bad if it's used in conjunction with other forms of surveillance. Like I know a while back, Miami Beach did this thing where they scanned your license plate and it could report if you had a carry permit, and that was outrageous to me.
Well, yeah, it's going to have that effect on everybody, not just the gun community. They're in conjunction with building all the data centers and trying to get all your biometric information on every website you sign into. It's going to allow for a greater and greater police state to where we are more and more surveilled every day, and they know where we're at every minute of every day. So that's going to be the big thing, because the only thing standing between them and being able to use the flock cameras and the traffic cameras and everything else to tell where you were at all time, or your cell phone data to tell where you were at all time, was they just didn't have the manpower to sift through the data. Mm-hmm. But AI can do that with the data center backups. So that's what the whole goal is, to get to where they have the manpower to monitor all the data.
Yeah. And the problem now is the Secretary of the Interior, Doug Burgum, is saying that if we don't improve these AI centers, that everyone's internet will be slow. So he's fear-mongering to get support for data centers across the country.
And that makes it's going to be slower with the AI data centers.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's the opposite of what he's saying.
Well, it's none of. I mean, they had somebody on yesterday morning, blaming Biden for the beef prices.
Yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, that's what's doing it. He brought all that beef in from, when he made that deal where he bought in all that Brazilian beef. Yeah. Biden did that. Well, wait, that was Trump.
I mean, I'm not sure if anybody else had to read 1984, the book.
I read it 5 times.
Yeah, this is exactly what happens in the book. Mm-hmm. The government just tells you lies until you have nothing. That's all that's out there.
The Ministry of Truth is what they call it.
There.
Yeah, the first thing they had to do was, defeat the credibility of the media, to make sure to where people didn't believe the media.
And then you were rewarded for coming up with a totally false story. Like the main character, Winston, he made up some military hero out of whole cloth, and he was given a pat on the back for that. So,
well, we do that all the time. We were doing that way back, Pat Tillman days, and even before.
Wasn't he killed by friendly fire? And they said he was killed by the enemy.
Yeah, there's all kinds of fake heroes throughout history. It's like, even remember how we used to. Everybody used to almost deify Christopher Columbus, and then people started realizing, hey, he was actually just an asshole.
Yeah, and he wasn't as intelligent as some people.
He never accomplished anything or discovered anything. I discovered a populated continent.
Yeah, he was 13,000 miles off course, and he still called them Indians after knowing they were not in India or the West Indies.
Yeah, and he was a horrible person.
Yeah.
But, history has a habit of, they know people want heroes. They know they want people to worship. That's why they glorify police and glorify the military. It's why best and brightest. But, I always, whenever anyone says that, and they're always like, oh, praise the military and all this stuff. So I'm like, I'm a firm believer of giving the military what they're owed, honoring their service, and giving them the benefits you're supposed to give them. But this whole best and brightest stuff, anybody that served knows that's bullshit. Yeah. Half the guys in there are dumber than fucking rocks, and they had no other option other than either military, starving, or jail. Yeah. So this whole everybody's the best and brightest. That's no. Yeah. There's a reason why drug abuse is higher in military life than it is in regular civilian life. While spousal abuse is higher in per capita in military families than it is in regular families. There's just they're not the best and brightest. It's just part of, if we deify them, people will never dare stand against the country, because if you stand against the politicians and what they're doing, well, then you're against the military. How many times did we hear that after September 11th? That if you question surveillance and you question these other things that we're doing that are unconstitutional, you're not for the military.
Yeah, and when you mentioned that we were not attacked by Afghans, it really pissed off people. It's like, why are we doing all this in Afghanistan? They did not attack us.
No. I think that might be it for the questions tonight. So, has anybody on the panel got any topics they want to go over?
Go ahead, panel.
Yeah. Last week I joked that I would never do business with sporting systems, and the joke apparently fell flat. Of course, down here in New Orleans, it's a long way to sporting systems, Yeah,
because it was bad. It was a bad joke. It wasn't a good joke. I've lost my place. Hold on. Anybody else got any topics? Anything they want to talk about before we get out of here?
I was chatting with John Mandrick about this alt-right motorcycle rally in Dearborn, Michigan. It was organized by Jake Lang, the January 6th wacko. And apparently he tried to scare Muslims into leaving Dearborn, Michigan, which has the highest Muslim population in the entire U.S., and it didn't work. So all these people are like, oh, yeah, we showed them. You didn't show them anything. You left. They're still there. What are you boasting about?
Actually, didn't he get arrested again?
I might have. It wouldn't surprise me. That guy is a pen shot for getting arrested.
Why isn't he in prison? As many times as he's been arrested and charged.
Because he's probably getting pardoned.
Yeah. Well, he got pardoned for the January 6th thing. But.
Well, it's like that one cop from Minnesota who got federal and is serving currently federal and state concurrently. Trump's talking about pardoning him. And Minnesota immediately said, you can pardon him for the federal if you want. We're not pardoning him for the state.
Yeah,
but then
he was arrested in
just like they did with that woman who got convicted of messing with the voting booths in, was it Nevada?
Mm-hmm.
No, it was Colorado.
Colorado, and then they were like, I'm pardoning her. And then like, you can't pardon her. This is a state charge. And then he had the DOJ harass them until they finally let her go.
Well, they're already harassing.
And the judge the other day ruled that what the DOJ did was illegal, illegal extortion on the state of Colorado to let her go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but I think the difference is Minnesota is already being harassed by them. So
over the Jake Lang arrest?
They aren't going to bend one bit because they know if they do, it's just encouraging them to keep hitting them.
Mm-hmm. What is probable cause riot? That's what he was charged with. I'm not familiar with that. Probable cause
riot. Well, that would mean we're not actually charging you with instigating a riot, but we have probable cause that you instigated a riot. So we're waiting till we get more information to put official charges for.
Yeah. What bothers me about Jake Lang is he's organizing people from all over the country. He's not even dealing with a local problem that people have. So the communities feel like they're being invaded, which they are. I couldn't imagine if a whole bunch of people from out of state came to my neighborhood.
And this isn't some guy who's just saying like, oh, I've got a problem with the Muslim faith and all this other stuff, or I've got a problem with the government or this or that, or people doing something wrong. This is an avowed neo-Nazi, right? This guy's I
think so, yeah.
Wild racist.
Yeah, he's his mother is Jewish, and he hates that. So he turned against Jewish people and Christians and Muslims.
That sounds familiar.
I mean, he's always doing the Nazi salute and all this stuff. So, I mean, like, who would support him? I mean, if you support him, you're saying, I'm okay with Nazis.
Well, apparently that's not as big of a deterrent as it used to be.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Well, I think it's good that a lot of the motorcycle clubs disavowed themselves. They said, we don't want our name implicated in this because we were not part of the rally.
No, but that's part of it. I mean, this, like I said, like we talked about a couple of these people. All he's going to do is go on the internet or wherever we'll listen to him, say a bunch of stupid shit, and then send emails out. If you support America, you'll send me money. And he's just taking people's money and laughing at them while they do it.
And, I don't think enough people are giving him money to do the stuff he's doing. There's got to be funds coming from somewhere else. There's got to be somebody backing his cause,
I don't know what the end game is.
Funneling money to him to keep this up because it causes disruption and it causes, angst and division.
But is that the end game though? Is it supposed to persuade the way people vote or what?
No, it's just supposed to keep people angry. Supposed to keep people mad and divided.
Keeps money going into the certain places.
So there's nothing really meaningful being accomplished here as far as everyday Americans are concerned.
No, I mean, how many people do you think are possibly watching him and are on his side?
Not a whole lot, no.
No.
I just hear it in the news. Like a news
Well, I
item.
mean, the biggest thing he's doing,
And why is the news giving him so much coverage?
Should be.
ratings.
Yeah, because
And
I'm
be
like,
honest,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the biggest thing he's doing. Go
back
ahead,
in my day when the Klan was trying to raise their head again in the mid '80s, they would have rallies on our Capitol steps, and you know what? The news didn't show up. The crowds didn't show up. So 3 or 4 of them, 5, 6 of them would show up, and they'd be like, "Well, there's no reason to be here," and they'd leave.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, that happened to that guy in Minneapolis, and he got beat up by Spider-Man. Did y'all see that?
Yeah, I did see the Spider-Man attack. That was kind of strange. What happens if you piss off Spider-Man? It's a real low tolerance for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing these guys accomplish by doing that on both sides is keeping the extremes visible.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have this continually bringing it up, common sense starts to slip into everybody, and you're like, well, that's kind of stupid.
Mhm.
And they can't have that. They need to have the far left and the far right yelling and screaming and keeping everybody divided.
And they always got to chase people away too, because if a lot of people are getting angry with the right and they're like, we're going to move left, well, then they'll have to come up with something concerted, like, well, our national policy for the left has to be that men just have to tuck their penis and then they can compete in the WNBA. They have to come up with something ridiculous to make people in the middle go, well, no, I can't support that platform either, because they don't want too many people moving to one side or the other. Same thing with the right. They got to put out the worst of the worst that will piss off people in the middle and go, hey, I could probably stand for a lot of the things the right says, but I can't be part of that. So they have to maintain that balance somehow. And sometimes that is not just attracting people, but it's also repelling people when too many people are moving to one side.
Yeah, there's that thing in politics called the Overton window, and once you go too far or to the right or left, you lose people.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just a big fuck fest.
Yeah, and I'll hear people from the right say, we had to be there because we heard Antifa was going to be there. Well, you didn't have to be there just because they were there.
Yeah, why would you want to be there? Go there to see what's going on. I like to go to these things and see what's really happening. And I go and I talk to both sides, like when I'd go downtown to Portland or when I went up to Seattle, I'd go talk to everybody involved, protesters, counter protesters, see, do you all even understand why you're here? Most of the times people didn't even understand why they were there. So it's just sad.
Yeah, the reason for being there is like a game of telephone where they hear a message and that wasn't even the first thing that was said. It just got corrupted.
And then there's always someone making money off of it. There's always, like the ones downtown, there was always somebody that was organizing it and making money, taking donations. And they weren't paying anything because how much is it to rent a U-Haul van and go pick up a bunch of losers? Yeah, so it's ridiculous.
I remember seeing, I guess it was in Charlottesville, vans full of people, and they came out of a van, and they got out of the van holding shields in their hand. It's like, what the hell is that all about?
Remember when all of them got arrested that one time, all the masked guys, and then they got demasked and they were all throwing fits, trying to sue, saying that, you ruined my life by showing my face. Well, no, you ruined your own life by showing up somewhere in a mask. And then you got arrested and they took your mask off.
Yeah, and they had body armor and sticks and shields, and they wanted to rumble. So.
Wasn't it? I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it a few years ago that Trump was screaming that they need to ban masks because all these Antifa people are wearing masks and we don't know who they are?
Now that's all they do. ICE and everyone all wear masks.
If we have the time, I do have one kind of question for the panel.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what is it?
So, what's the panel's opinion on clearing a house or clearing your house? I can think of one scenario where I might consider doing that. And I'll preface it with, like, for my situation and, the ones I know, it's The bedrooms are upstairs. You stay upstairs. You lock yourself in a room. You call the police and you yell at the guy, "We're armed. Get the hell out of the house. Police are on their way." You come upstairs. We will shoot you.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
see, that makes I would never like if I knew, hey, there's an armed guy outside, I'm going to hunker down inside, call the police. But I don't want to be the guy who called the police when it was a cat knocked over a can.
Yeah.
So I clearing to me wouldn't be really clearing a house knowing there's a threat there. It's assessing whether there actually is a threat or not. If I know there's a threat, like I hear someone kick the fucking door in, and that's one thing. Of course, then I probably have to go out and help. Well, my dogs would be in the bedroom with me, so wouldn't even have to do that. But my thing about clearing is just going around and making sure it is safe and I don't have to call the cops because, like I said, I don't want to call the cops every time I hear a bump in the night or I think I see something move outside. I want to check it out first and not overreact. So
now, isn't your security camera connected to your phone where you can just look down at your phone?
It's on my phone. It's on my Alexa next to me. So I can check my cameras, but that isn't going to tell me if something's in my house and, hiding somewhere. And especially if something's in your house hiding, you take your time, you check, but you don't want to wait so long that a threat becomes imminent. But I mean, I can see lots of circumstances where you got to check the house. You hear somebody in the house, you got to go check. And it turns out maybe, your son came home late or your dog knocked something over, which is 90% of the time. That's what it is. When I hear something, the cat or the dog knocked something over.
In your case, your dogs would alert you to somebody being outside, wouldn't
they would. And the kids, but I've woken up in the middle of the night and the dog's freaking out. And it turned out it was the cat's knocked over something off top of the refrigerator. So, I mean, I don't want to call the cops for that. So I got to go look at the very least. And you're not going to see anything on cameras because nothing came in. So you got to go check.
Yeah, in the case of somebody's trying to bust down my door, I'm going to go into one of my closets with my phone, of course, firearm in hand. That would be my plan. So I'm not readily visible if they do manage to break down the door. And at the same time, I've done my due diligence getting on the phone with 911, so the cops are coming over. That puts the law on my side, more or less, when it's all said and done, if I have to discharge the weapon.
Yeah. And I'm always worried about things like people are saying, like, well, I'll just shoot through my door. Mm-hmm. Well, what if you're at home and one of your kids has been out late or something or snuck out and has come back and they're like, well, I'm going to yell at them and say, I've got a gun. Well, what if they've got their iPods in and they can't hear you? Yeah. So you got to be super careful because I don't want to shoot one of my kids in the middle of the night.
No.
Yeah.
That's
the most important thing.
You shot your door for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
The most important thing in a home defense encounter is to establish a defensive corridor. That's the area of your house that puts you between the threat and the rest of your family. And it's best to simply wait in the defensive corridor, because if you try to clear your own house, you may get shot.
That sounds like a stupid thing to do to me. Put me between the bad guy and everybody else. I always figure the best thing to do, the first thing you do when a threat breaks in is you kick your spouse towards them. That gives you time to get your stuff together and fight back.
Oh, man. Yeah, we know what Yankee would do during a zombie apocalypse.
Oh, I've already told all my friends all the time. They're like, oh, if the zombie apocalypse comes, we're coming up to your house. I'm like, good, I'll need some Otis's.
Yeah, you shoot him in the knees.
Yeah. Part of the reason I brought it up is we had a safety class up at the range Friday night, and I always enjoy those because you get people that are really, don't know and are looking for good information, and there's always at least one that. Mm-hmm. What do you mean I can't? If someone's in my house, I can just shoot them, right?
Well, no. It's
like, no, there's,
I mean, you could probably get away with it if you can in any way make the idea that they are a threat to you. But there are cases where a guy came into a house, he was staying with friends, he came into the wrong house, he was in the kitchen making a sandwich, and the homeowner shot him in the back. Homeowner went to prison. There's one where a guy came in, laid on the couch, homeowner came in, shot him while he was on the couch, homeowner went to prison. So you do have to still be aware of circumstances.
One of the examples they gave of how important it is that you be able to show, reasonable fear was Seattle. I can't remember how many years ago. Cop on the street saw some guy walking across the street with a knife out. The guy was a wood carver. He was deaf. He yelled, commands. The guy couldn't hear him the whole bit. Ended up shooting him from 25, 30 feet away.
Whoa.
Yeah, the cop's in jail. So if that's enough to get a cop sent to jail.
Yeah. Well, it's like the scenario. It's like the scenario you always see when people are talking about if you saw someone being raped, would you intervene? Would you be able to use your gun? Would you use your gun for self-defense if they were bigger than you? And they're like, if I saw someone raping someone, I'd shoot them. Well, what if it turned out that was a husband and wife and they were role playing in the park or something?
Yeah. There was a classic example of a woman being arrested by a police officer, and she yelled rape, and then a goody two-shoes shot the cop, and it turns out it was a lawful arrest. It wasn't even a rape taking place.
So there is no set circumstance that takes the place or negates the need for awareness and good judgment.
Yeah, especially if you don't see a weapon involved, just take a breath, find out what's going on. Obviously, if you see somebody with a knife about to stab somebody, then you've got a reason to shoot. But short of that, what have you got?
Yes, you got to be careful. This is not the Wild West. You're not anybody's sworn protector. You're not protected by laws to be their protector, like police officers, et cetera, are. So you got to have good judgment at all times. Yeah, and I love when people try to create scenarios where they'll come up with this convoluted scenario to where you just got to start shooting. You got to just start shooting. You're justified to just start shooting. Well, your life is not a convoluted scenario. It's not a preconceived notion. You got to be careful and got to be aware of what's going on.
Yeah, and this takes me back to the example of somebody just being in the yard. Like I've heard people say they could shoot someone for just being on the property. It's like, no, you cannot.
Especially not if you have a sidewalk.
Yeah. Or it could be a person with Alzheimer's just wanders into your yard. You can't shoot him.
Yeah, but just even according to most laws in most states, if you have a sidewalk and you don't have a locked gate, that is an invitation to people to walk to your door. So you got to be careful.
That's how it was when I worked for the census. They said if there's a gate, you do not walk up to it. You just have to leave the notice on the gate, and that's all you can do.
Yep. Let's see here. I think that's it for us tonight, then. What would you go say?
Oh, yeah, pretty much in Louisiana, if you enter your house and there's someone already in there, the castle doctrine does not apply. Just the regular rules of deadly force apply. You have to actually feel like you are literally being threatened.
Yeah, well,
just like it's on the street.
And I would hate to shoot someone if I wasn't really feeling threatened. It's like when these people bring up, like, would you shoot over property? I'm like, no, I would. Well, if you need that property to work, well, then I hope I can get new property or start a GoFundMe to get it, because I'm not going to shoot someone over property. And that's one of the worst situations to put yourself in, because there was, like I said, there's always this story that happened in Portland, Oregon that I bring up all the time, where a guy was mowing his yard. He went inside to get something to drink. He looks outside and he sees some kid stealing his lawnmower. He runs out to get his lawnmower back. The kid sees him, chasing him, and runs, and he shot the kid, killed him. And it turned out the kid didn't steal his lawnmower. The kid just was walking down the sidewalk to go to mow someone else's lawn, and his lawnmower was still sitting inside his house in his yard.
Oh, boy.
And he ended up going to prison for, I think he got like 20 years or so. But just the sentence there is not even the worst part. The worst part is you killed some kid going around mowing lawns because you did something rash and stupid. I don't ever want to put myself in that situation where I got to feel that bad because I did something that stupid. So stop and think.
I will say this, one more thing came out of it. I did not understand the state of Washington laws for having a firearm in your car.
Yes, they're unbelievable.
So It is required if you're in Washington that the gun be, if it's being left in the vehicle, it needs to be in a locked safe or a locked container
Oh no!
and unloaded.
All the
they
good
got-
that does you.
Well, it's when you leave if you're leaving it in the vehicle unattended.
Oh, I see.
They've
Right.
got
Now,
some
if it's-
weird laws in Washington.
If I'm in the car and it's on my person, it can be loaded.
Yeah.
If I'm in the car, it can be loaded. If it's
in your glove box, it cannot by law.
It kind of discourages people from leaving it in the car unlocked, doesn't it? To some
which was their point. But my point is, check your local laws, everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
And obey them if you think it's worth it. But as I was saying, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. I appreciate it. I want to thank everybody in the chat. Thank everybody out there in the audience who asked questions, kept conversation rolling. Remember, if you want to get interested into the Hollow Sun drawing, go over and get some merchandise or just donate to us. Oh, we got to do the knife drawing before we get out of here. I almost forgot to do the knife drawing. Let me do that real quick here, real fast. I got to go count up the entrance. Yesterday, today, hold on. Here we go. Where is it? What's today? Today's the 23rd,
Yeah,
right?
important rule to keep in mind. Never be in a room with a loaded gun unless you're holding it.
10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I'm counting Edgar Cortez this time because he might want to holster. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 44, 47, 48, 58. So I got to generate a random number between 1 and 58. Uh, 1 and 58. Come on. Boom. And the number is 35. So let me go back over and count back up 35. There we go. That's 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. It's Ricky Rivas. Ricky Rivas is the winner. So Ricky Rivas, send me an email saying knife winner. Let me know which knife it is you want, or if you want a holster, I guess that's a possibility too. Just send it over to my email, shootingleftcenter@gmail.com, and then I'll need your name and your address, of course, to send you whatever you want. But Ricky Rivas is the winner. So thanks everybody for coming. I appreciate it. I will see everybody again tomorrow. We'll be back doing this again in a week, probably still here on the back of the channel. But like I said, otherwise, I'll see everyone tomorrow. So everybody wave goodbye. And everybody out there,
everybody.
Always carry and stay safe.
Good night.
Till I see you
Night.
again.
Night.